Hey Dhanya, welcome. And
Hi,
uh,
Supriya.
thank you so much for your time today, and for being here and talking to me about your journey. So before we start, diving deep into how your journey has been like a content writer, would you mind giving a little bit of an introduction about yourself to people who will be watching this video? Who you are, where you're from, what were you doing, till now. So some background would be great.
Sure, Supriya. Thank you for having me here. And it's a pleasure to speak to you about my journey. So I have a engineering background. I did my master's in VLSI, and I worked as a project engineer after that. Yeah, and after that, after my master's, I switched to academics. First of all, I thought, I'd be good at teaching. So I switched to academics. But after my marriage, I had to take a break after kids. So that's when, I wanted to prioritize my children. And so I took a break and I was thinking, what should I do? After they grew up, after 2.5 years, I thought I should, start something. But I wanted to keep it, balanced. I didn't want to, totally break off from them and take help from others. So that's when I was started thinking about ways to, work from home. And I was good at words, and I thought, okay, let's, explore this career option. So I just started off, and I got an opportunity with, as a ghostwriter with some of the agencies. And when I started writing, I didn't know anything about content writing. I just wrote what I thought of, and that's when I started. Slowly, I thought, it was coming up good. I started learning about a little bit about SEO. So I did a little, research, and whatever YouTube thing was available then. And that's when I saw your videos on YouTube, and I started putting that into effect. So whatever you said on YouTube, and I saw your TED talk, of course, and that really boosted me to take up this as a long term career, because as a freelancer, uh, it's very tough to think of it as a career option, as a option to make your income, regular income. So I joined the WhatsApp group. Even there, I found that whatever inputs were coming up in the group, and everything helped me to improve more. So that's how I transitioned into that thought process of taking it up as a proper career option, because I wanted to have that stability. I wanted to work for few hours. I wanted to balance my work and life as such. So that's when I thought of taking it forward. But yeah, so I joined the WhatsApp group, and after that, the content collective that you have, so those videos helped me a lot. And I remember that for one of your 30-day email courses, I had joined that as well. So in one of your videos, you had said that, you should network more and, connect with people, because that's how you build your,
Yeah.
career as a freelance content writer. And I asked you a question. I don't remember what I asked you, but you did reply. And, that was a connect that happened on email. So
Yeah.
I found it that, and I implemented whatever you had said on that email, and it turned out positively for me.
Wow.
So yeah, so I thought, if I want to go into this stream, I have to get it from the best, and that's you. So yeah, that's how the journey started into content
Awesome.
writing. Yeah.
Amazing. And thank you for sharing that. I totally resonate with what you said, right? Because, and I sort of feel, I'm not generalizing it, but even, in India, especially, women have a lot more responsibility for their children. And I guess a lot of women that I've spoken to, we are looking for these flexible ways to figure out how do we want to live our life so that we can balance work and balance life and spend more time with our children and be more present for them. And in a way, I'm grateful that I'm, able to enable that. Dhanya, your video went off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I was saying, in a way, I'm grateful that I'm able to enable that in some way. And I'm glad that, we had that email exchange because honestly, that's like a lottery. I get over 200 emails a day, and it's very difficult for me to respond to all of them. But I do like a very random raffle and say, okay, these are the 10 emails I'm going to respond to. So somehow your question came into that and I sent it. I'm glad that it helped you in some positive way, right? So you did join the fourth cohort, right, of
Yeah.
the content collective. And what has and you were writing content before, right? So how do you see what is different here, and uh, how has it changed your perception of content writing, or what are your honest thoughts about your experience with the program?
Yeah. So as I said, after taking that, joining the WhatsApp group and, connecting with you over an email, and I thought that, there is something missing, which I am doing, but, I was paid very less. And I thought I could, improve myself and, take my content to a next level. So I was thinking about that, but I was not ready to take that plunge. But slowly I started to feel that, it's getting very repetitive what I'm writing. So there has to be something else. And that's when I, saw that you were asking for new entries to your 8 weeks content intensive. So I thought, if I have to grow in this field, I have to learn it in depth. I have to understand what are the nuances that I have to bring forth. So I feel that what I wrote was totally, taking up content pieces together and putting it together and just, that's what I call research. That's what I thought research was. That's what I thought a good content is. You have to put everything together for SEO maybe. But when I joined the 8 week intensive, I understood that you took us from A to Z for starting from the goals. Yeah, I never thought about setting goals for my content journey. I just took it as a, okay, I'm earning some money as a pocket money. I just thought it as that. So when I think it was in the first week that you introduced us to having life goals and work goals. So that's when I understood, okay, this is how concrete I need to be if I want to take my career forward. Because I wanted to take it as a option where I can enjoy my life, but still I can have a backup in terms of finances as well. So setting goals, especially, that changed the whole perspective for me. That's when I started to sit down and think, what are the things that I want out of my life, out of my work. So that was the first step. And secondly, when it comes to your way of writing or your way of maybe teaching content, I feel that it's so different from what I had a perception of. I thought that, I have to just make it apt for SERP. But then I understood that, in order to make it more effective, you have to use your words properly, not add fluff to it, And I feel that everything that you write, even your presentations, or even whenever I see your, videos, I feel that every word has a meaning. It's not there just to make the word count. It's so effective. So I've aspired for that, and I think that 8 weeks helped me to achieve it a lot. Um, so that was the first thing. Secondly, I understood that, how to deal with clients, how to ask the right questions. So that was a step ahead. After learning the basics of, how to make your content more effective, how to be a highly paid content writer, the next step, of course, is dealing with clients, how to talk to them, how to ask the right question in order to make your content more impactful. So that is also one thing that took me to the next level, because that's very important. If you can't deal with them, if you don't take their briefs properly, you don't understand what the intent is, of course. So that every bit that so the flow was so apt and so properly done from first to 8 week that I understood the nuances of content writing, and I also understood how to scale it to the next level with respect to the content, with respect to talking to the clients, asking them right questions, understanding the intent, the reader-writer relationship. So it was so in-depth that, it took me by surprise that I was missing out on so many things. And I lived in a shell. I thought that, there are so many things that I need to focus on and understand. And I did understand all of these.
Super, thank you. And I think you also had a very, very practical experience of knowing how the client is not always right. If I'm correct, we had this website project that you started work on, and the client wanted us to do something. And, do you want to share
Yeah.
a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I think it was the second week, and Supriya had put up, you had put up, you had asked for if anybody is ready to do a website content. And so I tried my luck over there, and I did get the chance. So when we started the project, the first thing that I liked about your way of doing it is that you involved me from the very first day in the calls. It was not that, I'm on the sidelines and you are taking the briefs and giving it to me. So I had got to directly interact with the clients, and they had sent up a lot of base material that they wanted to concise. So it was maybe very, very elaborate, and I didn't have any clue of how to handle such type of content. So that's when I understood that the client is not always has the right perspective, and you have to make them understand what will work for them. So, and also I would like to tell the outside in approach that you put forward, that was also very new for me, because I had always written in a way that was inside out. So everybody talks about themselves, they want to sell themselves, but I understood that how to make a content more, how to connect it more with the reader. So that's also a thing that I understood from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to give a bit of context to whoever's listening to this, when the client sent over those, like I think the one document is 5,000 words, and you don't do websites which are 5,000 words per page. You maybe like today it's a day of microcopy, so you do 300, 400 words a page. And Dhanya was like, I don't know what to do with this. And I said, we have to go back to the client and tell them the page structure you've made is untenable. You cannot make a website with this. So we created templates. We told them this is the best template for the website you are looking for. They looked at it, they approved it in one go, and it made our lives so much more easier to work within those templates also. So I think that was also a very important learning, and I'm glad that you became a part of that project. And if I'm again correct, that project which you got in the second week of being a part of the cohort was around 1.2 lakhs, right?
Yeah.
So that was like significant amount of ROI on the investment that you'd made in the cohort. How did that feel like, getting that project, working on it, actually getting and how would you say the payout was different from what you were earning before, right? What was that jump that you made?
Yeah. So as you told, the payout was much beyond my expectation. I just tried my, and the best thing is that you are very transparent in terms of, putting up projects that we can ask for, or we can think about. So that was the first thing. Everybody has access to, bid for it and ask if we can work on it. And I remember that I sent some previous work that I'd sent you, and I didn't have hopes, but it turned out to be very, very uh, good for me. And earlier I used to, get almost 0.5 per word, 0.8 per word. That was the maximum that I got. But getting a jump to almost, 1.02 lakhs is unbelievable for me. And I think it has got to do more with your way or your style of connecting with people. You give them equal opportunity. That's a very good thing about this cohort. So there is nothing hidden, so everybody has a chance at the opportunities that are given. And if you try enough and if you believe that you can, I think you can get it. Because I went into this 8 weeks intensive with the thought that I have to make this work for me. So that was the only thought process that I had when I joined this. And I was ready to put in the efforts. I didn't know if I would result in a project as big as this, but yeah, so
Yeah. And today Dhanya has so much work that she is actively declining projects. Like I'm chasing her, please do a few case studies for me. And she's like, no, no, I don't have time. So and I love hearing it because that means that your bandwidth is occupied. You're also setting boundaries and saying, this is my free time. I'm not going to do this is my life goal part, and I will not let the work encroach. And also the confidence that yes, there is enough financial support coming in, like enough money coming in that you don't have to really say, oh my God, let me take a project because I need to meet those monthly goals. I think that's something that's really amazing, and what I really love from folks who are in the cohort achieving that. Um,
I
so
just want to add one thing. Yeah, sorry for interrupting. Even if it's not because I got this project, but even if I wouldn't have, got the opportunity to work on this project, I think this 8 weeks have made me so empowered that I have that belief, self-belief. Okay, I can make it work. That I can do it even outside of this. If I, connect with the client network, and if I put my best forward, I can make it happen. Because this 8 weeks have helped me to change my thought process basically. I feel it's not about only about getting the project here, but it's also about having developing that confidence and belief that after this 8 weeks, I have enough experience and enough material maybe to work on myself, work on my content, and then put the best forward. Uh, Whenever I am projecting my content to anybody. So that's really empowering, I feel.
super. I'm so glad to hear it, Dhanya. And thank you for sharing that. So I maybe just have a couple more questions. I think one of the things that I really like about this community, like this group and this intensive, is the community that has built around it, right? We are a
Yeah.
small group, just 70, 80 people. But I feel there's no negativity, right? Everybody is very supportive, everybody is very collaborative. People work on projects together. So that's something I really enjoy. So any thoughts that you have about your experience with the community? How is it? Some people have told me that they've made really good friends here. So anything like that you'd love to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started working on the first page, I remember that, because taking up a new project and working with a person like you, who's already so well established, it feels a little intimidating. But I have felt
God.
that you never, for people who don't know you, maybe it's very different versions or different worlds that we live in. But I felt that after knowing you in this 8 weeks, as well as whenever I see your videos, I feel that you are the same. There is no pretense, there is nothing. As I see you here, it's the same in the 8 weeks as well. And there is so much of goodwill in the community, as you said. So everybody helps out each other. So whenever I make a page, I ask maybe Sai or Vijay to just go through it and see if it's the way it should be. So we have that sense of community that and I think it's only been almost 1.5 months that I've connected with other people on the group as well. So everybody is ready to help each other. So they are putting up job posts and helping each other to progress in general. So
Yeah.
that's a very good thing that we cannot find anybody anywhere else, because everybody wants to build their own career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one more thing that's very good is that if there's too much on somebody's plate, they put it up in the group and tell, okay, do you want to go ahead with this, and do you want to pitch for this? That's also a very good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So I want to circle back to what we started with, right? When you said that um, because you wanted to spend time with your kids, because you wanted to have that freedom and that space to work, have that financial independence, but also like be very involved in life. Um, Today, how do you feel about it? Do you think that's possible? What is the future looking like for you? What are your plans going forward? Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it's absolutely possible. Anybody who is rethinking this should just start ahead, because earlier I used to think I didn't opt for a full-time job because I wanted to prioritize my kids. And after doing this, I can give them enough time so that they are sorted, and I can give time to myself as well. Because I put the my whole day in chunks. So there is a slot for work, there's a slot for my kids, and there's a slot for some other activities that I want to do. And to be honest, I am not in my home. I have traveled somewhere else for this festive season. So even here I can work. So that's a very good, option for me, because if I go anywhere, I can take my work along with me, and again do chunks of my work in particular times and enjoy the rest of my time. So it has been very liberating. I'm not tied down to anything. So this is what I had a vision of, and I'm so happy that it has come true uh, with you, Supriya. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the best part of it, right? You can work from anywhere. You're not tied down to anything. Like I do all my work from my dining table, and that's effectively my office. And it's also very, I feel, Capex, it's not there at all. Anybody can start. All you need is a device like a laptop to start working, and that's all the investment that you need, right? And you can make a lot of money, and then rest of it is just like the value of your time. So I totally feel that it's an amazing place to be in. And of course, all companies need content, right? Today, everything is just content. So there is potential, but like you also said, people have to upskill themselves, right? The
Right.
way they have been writing content is not going to cut it much longer. So there is definitely a need to upskill, to upgrade, to learn what is going to be relevant in the future. And I'm glad that you were a part of the cohort, and you found it very useful. So as a last question, do you have any advice that you want to give to budding content writers or aspiring content writers who've been in this space, or who are starting out, but they are still stuck in that less than 1 rupee kind of space, right? How can they level up? How can they actually realize this life that they want to live? So any advice as a fellow content writer?
Um, I would say that, I was one of you. I was, um, I had this whole perspective, I had this whole idea that this is what content is. But, and there is content out there which is usually for SEO. But I feel that there is a content which Supriya writes, which is so, top level, that you have to aspire to reach that place. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in that 1 rupee, 2 rupee mode, and you will be just repurposing content. So I think you need to get a proper perspective or a proper vision of where you want to reach. And if you want to reach there, you have to get a proper guidance with respect to that, because that's what was I think the key point or the key differentiator in my content. I understood that, what I was writing before this and how I am thinking now is so different. There's a huge difference. And I think most of the, I have done some courses on content writing. I think I did a 6 days course before I started content writing. But they only teach you, how to write, how to repurpose things, what all should be included. There should be external links, there should be backlinks and things like that. But nobody talks about the actual words that you should be using, how to make it more effective, how to, wordsmith. So I feel that you need to work on your content first, and the rest will fall into place. And you will be one of the highly paid content writers if you get a proper guidance on what route you should be taking.
And I think if I sum it up, it's like quality is non-negotiable,
Yeah.
right? You've got to have quality work, and then clients will come swarming to you, and then you'll be in Dhanya's place where you say, sorry, I don't have any more bandwidth. I can't take on any more projects. I've got enough. Yeah, super. So thank you so much, Dhanya, for your time today. I think this was really interesting, and I love to hear, uh, how you've grown as a content writer. And honestly, it makes me feel good that at least, I'm making some impact, some difference in people's lives. So thank you again for your time and for being here today. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Supriya. Thank you so much for having me here.